Can I show you something?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
Lumix came out with a new firmware update for the S9, and it's genius. Let me show you. We've kind of been requesting some of these firmware updates for a while.
Really?
You know, I like shooting in 6K open gate.
6K open gate.
Yeah, you know that, right?
Yes, I do.
So what you can do now in 6K open gate, and this is going to help out a ton, because just some hybrid shooting for social media and for, you know, regular horizontal 16 by 9. Before, you weren't able to set like multiple frame markers. You could only set one frame marker on the screen when you're open gate. Now, with this firmware update, you can set up to 3 frame markers.
What do you need 3 frame markers for?
Because you might want to frame for, you know, the vertical shot, right? You want to frame it up vertically for reels, TikToks, shorts, right? Especially if you're shooting for social media. But, you know, some clients, or maybe yourself, maybe you're shooting for YouTube or just a regular TV commercial, then you have that. Also, you can set that frame for like a 16:9 horizontal. So vertical, 9 by 16, horizontal, 16 by 9. Or some of the other more like cinema modes, like 235, you know, you can set all those different frame markers right on the same screen. But you can do 3 of them. So let's say you want a square cut too, you can make that square cut right on the screen as well. Look, frame 1, 9 by 16. And I'm gonna do this frame, and you can set the different colors. So I can make one frame green, and I could make the 9 by 16 blue, and then I'm going to set the 3rd frame marker, and I'm going to set the aspect ratio to a 1 by 1, and that's square, and I'm going to make that frame color red. So now, if I go and I turn them all on, boom, they're all on the screen.
Wow.
Okay, but I'm not done yet with the frame markers.
There's
Are
more.
you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can actually go in here and I can like toggle them around as well. So I can change the size of the frame markers on the screen.
Do they all 3 move at the same time? Like
Yeah,
if
you can move them around.
Squeeze this green guy and make it smaller.
Yeah, you can make it smaller, and then you just, you know, make that crop when you're editing.
No, but what I'm asking is, does it change independent of the blue and red, or do they
Yes.
all move? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can independently change them.
Okay.
Another thing that I thought was really cool with this firmware update is you can actually take off, okay, so the Lumix S9 had record limits. So like in the setting that I am in right now, which is a Cinema 4K mode, it actually has a record limit of 15 minutes. And if I go to the open gate setting, which is 6K open gate, right there, it's actually a 10-minute setting. But what I can do now with this firmware update is I can actually go in here and actually take the record limit off. But this is not, let's say, it's a heat-sensitive camera. So it doesn't have fans or anything like that built into the body, so it can overheat if you let it run too long on like one setting. But I can actually take that record limit off, and now there's not a limit on the record. It's just how long you can record to the actual SD card that's in there.
Does it tell you if it's getting too hot?
Yeah, it'll give you a warning. Yeah, so a warning, a heat warning will pop up on the screen. And I haven't actually tested it out. I'm not gonna, I don't know, I don't normally have things running for like 2 hours at a time.
Right.
But, especially this camera. But if there were, I mean, yes, I would get a heat warning. And it would tell me that was overheating. And the whole body would just melt.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
There's some new autofocus features that were in the GH7 are now in the S9. For example, let me show you some different detecting subject autofocus features like train, and you can pick the different parts of the train that you want to focus on, and aeroplane. And you can pick either the nose of the airplane or the airframe of the airplane. So you have different detecting subjects now on the S9 that were first introduced with the Lumix GH7.
There's not a lot of trains around here, but I know a place where there are some.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah.
We're talking about Japan. That's actually where I got this camera.
Oh, it's meant to be.
Okay, but we're not done. Are you ready for
Yeah.
this next thing? This actually happens with the Lumix Lab app. So with the Lumix Lab app, now before you could, transfer LUTs and color images, all those things now, but now you can actually control the camera with the Lumix Lab app. The S9 and other future cameras coming up with a firmware update that is for the app.
What are you doing in the app?
Well, you can do a bunch of different colors, but then you can also control your camera. So you can transfer files, transfer LUTs, for coloring. You can create your own LUTs, transfer them over. But now you can actually control the camera with this as well, which is a pretty big update because, they have the Lumix Sync app, but the Lumix Sync app was a little janky.
Okay.
But now having everything in one app, and I think they're going to keep improving it, right? They're going to keep improving it. And so you have all the different features on the app, and you can hit record. If you're, let's say I'm standing over there. I can hit record, and it'll start recording me. I don't have to reach over and push the button on the camera. Okay, but are you ready for this?
Yeah.
There's also firmware updates for the other cameras that we're using. These ones. Not that one, but these two. Lumix S5 II-X and the Lumix S5 II. There's also firmware updates for those. And you know what they're getting? That is pretty exciting. Which
Remote
is actually,
control.
well, not remote control yet on the Lumix Lab app.
No.
But they are getting updated to where now you can transfer files of the LUTs, things like that.
That's
to those
exciting.
two cameras. And I think the control is coming soon to those two cameras. But also, there's a new color profile that has been on the Lumix G9 II, the S9, and the GH7 that is now on the S5 II and the S5 II-X.
What is it?
Leica monochrome.
Oh.
It's a black and white Leica sanctioned color profile. That's actually pretty awesome. I'll put some sample shots up on there.
Looks so good. Stay right there.
So the S5 II and the S5 II-X now have an expanded real-time LUT library in camera. So now you can put up to 39 LUTs on these cameras.
That's pretty impressive.
Kind of like the S9 and the GH7. So these two cameras are they're catching up to some of the newer technology that's in the S9. Isn't that pretty exciting?
It is. I need more LUTs. Where can I find them? Tell me more.
Oh my gosh. So if you wanted to add some LUTs to your LUT library, you can just go and download my free LUT pack that's down in the description, right? Which, you like those LUTs.
I do really like those LUTs.
Those are, they're really nice LUTs.
Those are nice colors.
It's a free pack. I also have a pack in there that is my new B3 LUT collection. That's down in the description as well. Go check it out. I don't know. I'm pretty excited about these firmware updates.
It
I don't
sounds
know
like
about
you are.
I think that's all of the firmware updates.
Thanks so much for telling me all about it.
Oh, yeah, that's good.